Hi. The fact that you're watching this video and we're not at training obviously means that we're back in remote learning, lockdown, whatever you want to call it, but there's no volleyball training allowed this weekend. So I thought I'd send a message to you about some things that we can do to get better. So the bad thing about the remote learning, the lockdown, is that no volleyball, no on-site school, no club training, no academy training, none of that. But it does mean that we've got the flexibility for you to get better at volleyball, to get stronger independently. Yes, you can't go to training, but you can still do things. So one of the great opportunities you've got is to watch a lot of volleyball. There's been volleyball on the TV all week. And if you get the 7+ app, there's going to be volleyball matches up there, both beach and indoor, for the next 3 or 4 months. So if you haven't already got that, get that and use that as a way to watch as much volleyball as you can. If anyone, instead of going to training this morning, watched the bronze medal game for the women, you would have seen Tijana Boskovic score 34 points in 3 sets of volleyball. That's just incredible when you think about the fact that that's coming at the end of the tournament. We talked at our last training session about how fatiguing a full tournament is, where you're playing multiple games and how you've got to look after yourself. For her to be able to play at that level is just remarkable. And yes, she's an amazing athlete, but it also shows us how important strength and conditioning is. So you want to make sure that you are doing your strength and conditioning training. Given that we've got no volleyball training and you can't go to school this week, should be able to do that program at least 4 times a week. Remembering we're aiming to do it for 3 sets of each exercise. And if you're getting through all of the repetitions for each exercise, it's time to increase them. You know, I started off with 10s, build that up towards 12, 13, 14, 15. And if you're getting past 15, you're doing 3 sets of 15 and you're doing it 4 times a week, contact me and I can give you some more work to do to help you get even stronger. But just doing that is going to make a real big difference to your volleyball for the next couple of weeks towards the end of this year and moving on. The other things that we can do is that you've got the opportunity to do more independent volleyball training. I sent out the sheets 2 weeks ago about exercises that you can do, drills, practice you can do with a ball by yourself, and if you can grab someone else from your family, they can help you out to do some activities that require pairs. But making up games where you're setting the ball to particular points. Remember, we're working hard on those long sets. Our hands are shaped like a ball and they're staying together when we push through, and we're holding our hands in that position after the ball's gone. The same when we're doing our dig. So our arms are, finish the dig, we hold it, and then we break our arms. So making up games, doing that as often as you can. So if you've got an online class, you've had a video session or whatever, between classes, go and grab your ball, run outside, do some more volleyball. It's good for your brain, it's good for your body, it's good for your mental health, and it'll make you a better volleyball player. So really important that we don't let our focus on volleyball drop, because our time is really short to get ready. And remembering, we're trying to get you ready, not just for this year, but making you a better, stronger volleyballer for the future. And the more that you can do independently is always going to help. Really sorry that we can't get together and train this weekend. I hope we can get together really soon. But in the meantime, watch as much volleyball as you can, learn as much as you can from watching it, and then go out and practice. Get stronger with your strength and conditioning and practice your skills with a ball. There's a video just about to come up just to give you some ideas about how to go about watching volleyball. It's fantastic to watch the game and marvel at what you can see the players do. But if you actually have a look at it carefully and look at what players are doing off the ball, try and think about what teams are trying to achieve, you can learn an awful lot. Especially make sure that you're watching women's volleyball. The men are unbelievable athletes and they can do things that we're not ready to do yet. But the women, whilst they're also amazing athletes, play a really smart game. They play with some really solid defense. There's some real thinking behind what they're doing, because they don't just rely on see ball, smash ball. There is some of that, but there's also lots of really clever play, and we can learn a lot from that. So Watch as much volleyball as you can. Don't neglect the women's volleyball, because there's an awful lot to learn from that. And the rallies often last longer, so it's often a more interesting game to watch as well. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and good luck. So in this point, France is serving to Brazil. Usually when you're serving, you're at the disadvantage because you're putting the ball into play. Occasionally you get an ace, but far more often than that, the point goes against you because the receiving team's able to set up their attack. So France wants to take advantage of the situation. We've got a setter over here in position 1. He's going to have to run right around here to try and set it. Usually what's going to happen here is that they're going to have to set the ball to the outside, and that's what France wants. They want to set the ball out here because the player here in position 4 is an opposite, is normally used to hitting on the right side over here, but occasionally in the rotation has to hit from the left. So the defense and the block is going to try and force them to set over here, and then this hit is going to hit into a place where they're ready for it so that they can then launch an attack. So let's have a look at what happens. So Brazil has handled this really well. But if we have a look at the serve's done exactly what they want. The serve's gone over here. It's got the player who would logically be able to set up an attack on the floor after this pass. The rest of Brazil knows that the middle is running through the middle here to take the ball. The pass has been good. The setter's got an option. They could set the middle. We've also got the player over here in position 5 running to run a backcourt attack, and the player in position 4 has transitioned outside. They know the ball wasn't coming to them and they headed off and transitioned. The block's watching where the ball's going, but they're expecting the defense to have to set up to take the ball that's going over here because the player was on the floor, but look, he got up. The setter knows that, trusts him to get up and belts the ball and gets the kill. So Brazil has done everything right. We can see here the ball's going over here to Lucarelli, back here in position 1. And all of these other hitters, 1, 2, 3, are starting to get ready to transition. The middle watcher starts to move. Outside, the player over here in position 4 has transitioning out, and the player back here in position 5 is just about to start running in. They run in, but they're not needed because the setter has decided, no, I trust my hitter here, and I'm going to set him, because if I don't, all the defense is all going to be ready to take this ball. So great work. Everyone on Brazil's done their job. Let's go and have a look at the French side now. The serve has absolutely done their job. Look what happens. It's taken the hitter who they were trying to avoid from being able to hit out of play, they think. The middle block's watching here. The outside, the setter, is going to run over here, ready for a block. The defense is going to start moving around here because everything's going good so far, except that the setter messes with everything. Look, the middle's here, ready to watch for a block. The pass hitter is here, going to help out if they set the middle. And if it does go outside, these two blockers here are going to shoot off here. The libero is set up over here for defense, but they've just been beaten by some better play. So when you're looking at volleyball, I want you to have a look at points and see what are players doing who are off the ball? What are they doing when the ball's not coming to them? What's the defense doing? What's the block doing? What's the setter choosing to do? It's really easy to just watch the ball and marvel at the points. It's much harder to look and see why did everybody do what they did. But this is a great example of both teams have played a really good point in volleyball, and the team that didn't win the point has done everything right. They were just beaten by a better team at the time, and the team that won the point, everybody's done their jobs. So the pass has passed, but all of the other players know I've still got a job to do. Let's look at what the libero does. He's moving up in case he needs to cover a ball that's blocked off the net. Everybody's done a job here. So we want to look at the jobs that we're doing and try and learn from that, so that when we're playing volleyball, we also do those jobs.